So my name is Jerad Prevost. I'm a part of the Black Student Union at Chico State, and I'm the vice president. I'm also in my senior year. The goal of our organization is to show that students have a support system here on this campus, especially our students of color, not only academically but spiritually and also culturally as well. And so we want to take those students that don't feel like they have a community and show them that there's a community around them of not only support but also a willingness and wanting to advance them. One thing that I really appreciate is that, we all know the athletic life, and so the life of an athlete consists of a lot of practices, a lot of time spent in and off the court or field. But within that, we still saw some of our student athletes attend our Black Lives Matter events, and so that was something that I really appreciated, because just as we all have busy schedules going on throughout the week, they felt that this was necessary and this was an important matter to be able to even stand in solidarity with us. And so not only at the Black Lives Matter protest on Monday, this past Monday, but also at our candlelight vigil that we held on Wednesday. It was really a lot of support, and we really like that from the actual athletic community. Not only that, but we also see some of our athletes, especially part of the basketball team, speaking out on these issues as well. And I think that similar to a lot of other people within our society now, the athletes, especially on this campus, have an influence that maybe other students don't have. And so it's really good to have them speak out on those issues. I think that there have been opportunities that the organization, the BSU, has seen, whether it be doing demonstrations during like halftime events for like sporting games. We know that the athletic teams put out like newsletters and kind of like things just kind of like reaching out to the actual population of Chico State. And so if anything, we'd be looking for opportunities to partnership in the future, just also letting students know that are under those athletic organizations, whether it be volleyball or, basketball or like any other sport, to be able to stand in solidarity with their people as well. And also for the allies on those teams as well. And so just really more support for the movements that we're putting on, but hopefully in the future, some sort of collaboration. When it comes down to it, just like I've talked about some of that influence, like we see a lot of key players that are on the field, like representing Chico State around in many different capacities, and so not only on the court or not only on the field, but it's like we see all of our athletes living life here on campus, and so it's like just as someone maybe a small forward or offense or a defense, they're a person at heart, we see that. But when it comes down to it, when we see those people on campus, they're also representing themselves as a student, right? And so how they have stances on the Black Lives Matter movement or any other movement per se, that's really super duper important. And so just as we start reaching out as an organization to touching on what are those people's feelings and kind of how they feel on and off the court, I think that's really when it's going to come into play of like, wow, these people have other lives too, and these struggles penetrate sometimes into practice and the games and things like that. There's always been a question at Chico State whether it values diversity or not. I think that Chico State values diversity. I think that we have a lot of work to do in that area. But in terms of incorporating all types of students, like for example, if we're talking about just the athletes here, I think that Chico State has to really focus and narrow down their efforts to get a more culminating experience for the diversity conversations, right? And so whether that be athletes, whether that be people that go to class and go home straight after, it's really about getting everybody talking about the same subject. And so I think looking forward into Chico State's future, something that I would like to see, and in terms of advancements, would be us having a more direct shot at people who haven't had those conversations of diversity, and then having more people in that room, and so making it more of a in-your-face type issue versus like something that you can put your headphones in and walk past. We have an event called Elephant in the Room. That is something that the Black Student Union will be putting on. Basically, it'll be targeting, just like I said a little bit earlier, those students who have not been comfortable with addressing the concept of diversity and being able to anonymously let them ask questions to people who are more versed on those diverse topics. Because as we know, it's like, what we don't know, we're afraid of. It's like that's why we're afraid of the dark, because we don't know what's in front of us, we don't know what's behind us. And so really having an event where people can kind of shed some light into that room of diversity, Black Lives Matter, what does that mean? What struggles are we facing? Things of that nature. And so that's what we're going to be doing very, very soon as well. And then also there's a national organization called the African Black Coalition, short ABC. But one of their speakers will also be coming out and addressing some of the struggles of the Black community on a national scale. So those are just a couple of events. Tonight, for example, we have our first general meeting, and so that's where we're really going to kind of get into the general concept of the Black Student Union and kind of what we're doing and what we'll be doing looking forward. And so just, a couple of things to throw it out there.